All right, what is going on, you guys? Blaze over here, the Blue Chip Athletic Club podcast. I just finished a little 3 miles outside, and I wanted to come to you guys because I feel like I, just got today's the. Sorry, I guess I should start with that 22nd of October. I guess before we get into it, got to make sure that I shout out our partners and programs. So, real fast, partners over First Form, Sweet Perfections, protein cookies, you name it, they got it. Protein powders, all those guys. We'll just leave the rest of them in the show notes and, on the website. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, as always, hit me up. And then we're running a 50 days of fitness challenge here at the end of the year. Close out your year 2025. Basically, is going to be 50 days of workouts, programming, dedicated rest recovery days. We've got to do a bunch of mobility in there as well, and then you're also going to be able to adjust your rest days with a little bit of leeway, because I know the holiday season's in town at the end of the year, and if you've got a big outing, maybe it's with work, maybe it's a family dinner or something like that, and you don't really want to think about exercise or food or anything, or sleep, or any of those critical components to success, I think taking a little bit of time away to do that is okay. To then, finish the year strong still with a program, with a community, and with a coach, yours truly, to kind of round it out. So I'm sorry if I have a cough or I'm hanging up stuff. It's because we just, again, did our scamper, and now I'm walking back home. Yes, before we get into that too, man, does anybody else get like thigh chafage? It's pretty brutal. I don't know if you guys have started buying diaper rash cream and just throwing that on. I feel like it's been helping, but this morning got me, and decided that I was only going to do 3 miles instead of closer to 5, I think, which my initial target was. Trying to, walk like I just got off a horse, nice and wide-legged. But okay, so I just got back from Talladega. I think you guys have probably heard at this point, probably ad nauseum, about me doing the 75 harder challenge. Basically is or was me doing 75 hard, except I added in no social media for 75 days, and still, recorded podcasts, published newsletters, worked a ton on our community and website, but I stayed off of social media. And since coming back, well, before I get into that, Talladega was super fun. Those of you guys who have never been, we camped in the infield and enjoyed, spending some time with friends and, my dad, which we have not, at least in recent history, done a trip where we kind of go out and do something like that. So that was great. He still gets on my nerves, and that's okay. But, I'm thankful to have that time. And, full disclosure, probably was not my healthiest at that event. If you think about the environment that you're in rural Alabama, the access to drinks, unhealthy foods, you name it. But what I did do while I was there, outside of enjoying some, and I say some, plenty of cold beverages with friends, is I did, small workouts, all but I think one day there, 15, 20 minutes. I brought a set of bands with me, kind of let it rip, made it super simple, and just really hit the basics, big compound movements, stuff that was simple. I set a timer, did it before everybody else was kind of up and at them, or just kind of went on a run, which I'll tell you what, through the campsites at the infield of Talladega was pretty fun. Looking at, people looked at me like I had 12 heads. But anyway, back to coming back off of social media here for 75 days. I have since returned. And I think there's like a new trend in health that I'm really, really not loving. And this is from fellow coaches, people that I know can help people, lose weight, be the healthiest they can be. But what they're doing is basically, calling out everybody for their lack of knowledge and understanding and acting as if they have all the answers. And this is just such a dangerous trap. The reality, and I'll be the first to admit, as a coach, is that I've made hundreds, if not thousands, of mistakes in my health and wellness journey, whether that's nutrition, sleep, stress management, training without a plan. Maybe my squat or deadlift form was terrible. All of those things. And I, I decided to do this, online coaching business and get into this space and coach group fitness in person and all those things because I wanted to help somebody else cut through the noise and have like somebody, a sounding board to be like, hey, I'm doing this. Like, what do you think? Or, hey, I can give like a coaching cue or something like that and be like, hey, dude, I used to do the exact same thing that you're doing. And this is how I stopped doing that. Behavior modification, all those things kind of fall into that same realm. And I think it's really dangerous, maybe not dangerous, but I think it's really, naive for somebody else in the health space to sit there and elicit an emotional reaction like saying, oh, if your reps look like this on the Smith machine, it's no wonder that your glutes aren't growing. Or, oh, you don't know what a macronutrient is. No wonder you're not getting big or getting jacked, and it's or getting closer to your goal. And you know what? Like, everybody's on their own part of the journey, and the reality is, everybody, I think, could use a coach, could use a sounding board, could use somebody to push them to acknowledge weaknesses, strengths, and help guide. But if there's any delusion that your coach knows everything about health and wellness, and this is me, I guess, eliciting the same emotional response, probably being a big hypocrite, but that nobody knows it all. I would actually venture to guess that somebody who's between the ages of 20 and 40, and maybe with no kids, doesn't know how to manage their sleep and stress because they don't have a kid. They don't know the lack of sleep that somebody's battling with. You don't know the way that somebody else is going to eat to help elicit the best bodily response for their specific unique situation to make them look, move, and feel their best. There's such a disconnect between the approach that worked for me, i.e. the coach, versus that approach should work for everybody. And the other thing too is like not everybody's goals are the same, like I could want to look ripped like Rambo, go on stage and be a bodybuilder. I don't, by the way. But those may not be the goals that you're kind of striving for in the health space. Maybe you just want to get on and off the ground with your kids. Maybe you just want to, run a 5K for the first time in your life. Maybe you have lower back pain and you just want to go fly. Maybe you're a pilot and you want to go fly without pain because it's crippling your ability to do your job. And I think social media has sensationalized this idea that everybody's destined to look ripped like Rambo and be there to kind of improve their health and wellness journey. And it's not to say that you can't get there. There's definitely some power and truth to deciding how you want to go about your health, the things you're willing to sacrifice. We've talked a lot on this podcast in particular about what those things look like for you and for just in general, like how do you kind of manage all of that. But, in coming back to social media, I think just like if you're seeing a coach who's belittling the public to elicit an emotional response on social media, and I'll say acting like they know kind of everything, just tread lightly, tread with caution, realize that someone's coaching style may not line up with yours ability to learn and grow. And we don't come on here, and arguably nobody necessarily cares. Hey, I've got a master nutrition certification, which, what does that mean? That means I did a 6-month, I'll call it college level style course where they talked about all things behavior modification when it comes to nutrition coaching for people. Like, hey, how do we take incremental steps to make real lasting change? What are the most important things when it comes to eating right? All of those things. And the guy leading that class, teaching other master nutrition coaches to be able to coach others to reach their nutrition goals, starts off the class by saying, like, they don't have all the answers. The 3 coaching tips that I've kind of taken and adopted and want to continue to utilize is 1, be lazy, because you can't, you want to be, I guess the most time cost effective for everybody to be able to reach their goals. Care less, which is a really hard one for me because I care so much. I want people to succeed, and sometimes I almost make their goals into my goals and get some level of personal gratification or hinge some of my mood based on the way somebody else is performing in the program or whatever. And that's something that I'm working on every single day. And the last one is what did I say? Oh, play dumb. And play dumb is the idea where you get to kind of listen and hear back what somebody else knows about the health and wellness space, what they know about nutrition. Hey, somebody says they mention macronutrients to you, and you're a coach, and maybe you know some stuff about it. Nobody knows all the things about nutrition or macros or whatever, but getting some understanding of where somebody's at, coaching them at a level that they're at, and reminding everybody else that you don't have all the answers too. And I think that's just so critical. And kind of what I wanted to make the chat about today is that no matter where you are in your journey, maybe you're on second base and somebody is at the plate. The social media space, I think, and news, I guess they almost like parallel themselves, where like the more of an emotional response you can get, typically the more views and likes and things. And I understand from a coaching perspective that drives traffic. It brings more people, more eyeballs, and produces more business. But trying to build something sustainable from the ground up of people that I really want to help. I'm somebody with a master nutrition certification, basic nutrition certification, personal training certification, TRX. All kinds of sleep, stress, and recovery, all kinds of professional knowledge, and I'm continuing to learn and read and understand more, but I don't have all the answers, and I don't know everything. And I want to make sure that you guys don't think just because somebody is flirting out things on social media that they do too. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. Remember, 50 Days of Fitness Live in November, about a month from today. We're going to knock the challenge off, make it fun and exciting, and make sure that we're ending the year 2025 with a bang. So until next time, you guys, you don't stop playing because you get old because you stop playing. We'll see you next time. Peace.